Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So it's that kind of indoor weather. Here we are indoors by the fire.
Yes.
Krishna and Balaram.
Up there and getting burnt.
They put out forest fires, don't you know?
Oh yeah, okay.
So, we're reading Bhagavatam, which is the main point and goal of life. So
Canto 3, Chapter 30, Text 29.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 29. Lord Kapila continued, My dear mother, it is sometimes said that we experience hell or heaven on this planet, for hellish punishments are sometimes visible on this planet also. Purport. Sometimes unbelievers do not accept these statements of scripture regarding hell. They disregard such authorized scriptures. Lord Kapila therefore confirms them by saying that these hellish conditions are also visible on this planet. It is not that they are only on the planet where Yamaraj lives. On the planet of Yamaraj, the sinful man is given the chance to practice living in the hellish conditions which he will have to endure in the next life. And then he is given a chance to take birth on another planet to continue his hellish life. For example, if a man is to be punished to remain in hell and eat stool and urine, then first of all he practices such habits on the planet of Yamaraj, and then he is given a particular type of body, that of a hog, or that so that he can eat stool and think that he is enjoying life. It is stated previously that in any hellish condition, the conditioned soul thinks he is happy. Otherwise, it would not be possible for him to suffer hellish life. That's a good point that we have to remember. No, that the conditioned soul thinks he's happy. You know, because otherwise you can't endure that. You know, sometimes we see the way not just animals, but the way humans live. And it's because the covering is so thick, you know, so deep. For whatever, you know, well, yeah, because they have to endure that. And if they had knowledge, you know, it would be like unbearable. And then so sometimes you see people in the mode of goodness or beyond, so like spiritual masters, senior devotees, that they come into environments, whether it's people's homes or just situations, and they can't, like, they don't feel, you know, they feel but because people who are there or situations, their conditions, they don't see it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense in a tactful way.
And yeah, I guess if they came into our home, they probably feel the same way.
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, so
I like to think
because people who are conditioned to goodness and transcendence, when they come in contact with tamas and rajas, they immediately kind of are repelled by it. So so they want to lift it out of the lower modes into the higher modes. I mean, I think it's quite an interesting statement. And I did highlight it and noted it in here from when I read previously, but it's, you know, I'd forgotten, it's quite remarkable that you actually get trained up suffering to go into an extended period of living life in a suffering condition. So in one sense, I guess you could argue that Krishna is very kind, because at least he trains me up. At least I get some training how I'm going to suffer in the material next life.
Yeah, but you could say that even in this life, people, due to the parents they have and the way they brought up, they trained. So then you see they go on. People don't break that cycle, and they go on to live like that. and in those conditions, which is sad. So it's almost like,
well, yeah, but you come into that condition. They're training you, yeah, because they're already in that condition, which means your life from dot is in that condition.
yeah.
Of course, Prabhupada's talking mostly here about taking birth in an animal species, and really, but you know, like he said, yeah, you think you're happy. Okay.
I think this camera's funny because my face looks like a chipmunk.
How come mine doesn't look like a
Oh
chipmunk?
dear, maybe it's me.
It's not. I mean, it's obviously it's a little weird, but I don't think it's that weird.
Oh dear.
Okay, text 30. After leaving this body, the man who maintained himself and his family members by sinful activities suffers a hellish life, and his relatives suffer also. Purport. The mistake of modern civilization is that man does not believe in the next life. But whether he believes it or not, the next life is there, and one has to suffer if one does not lead a responsible life in terms of the injunctions of authoritative scriptures like the Vedas and Puranas. Species lower than human beings are not responsible for their actions because they are made to act in a certain way, but in the developed life of human consciousness, if one is not responsible for his activities, then he is sure to get a hellish life as described herein. Interesting. So the main point being that we're responsible. We have to take responsibility. And if you don't take that responsibility and you just live life as the modes dictate to you, which predominantly will be ignorance and passion at best, then you are responsible. So by shirking your responsibility, you actually have to get a reaction for that. So take responsibility. We Bhagavad Gita explains we have to elevate ourselves with the help of the mind, and that means we have to elevate ourselves. So we have to take responsibility. What does that mean? It means the ability to respond to circumstances and situations and make the right choices. And by making the right choices, we become conditioned to a different, nature, means predominantly goodness, which will be a springboard to transcendence, like that. Does that make sense or not? Rambling.
Text 31. He goes alone to the darkest regions of hell after quitting the present body, and the money he acquired by envying other living entities is the passage money with which he leaves this world. When a man earns money by unfair means and maintains his family and himself with that money, the money is enjoyed by many members of the family, but he alone goes to hell. A person who enjoys life by earning money or by envying another's life and who enjoys with family and friends will have to enjoy alone the resultant sinful reactions accrued from such violent and illicit life. For example, if a man secures some money by killing someone and with that money maintains his family, those who enjoy the black money earned by him are also partially responsible and are also sent to hell. But he who is the leader is especially punished. The result of material enjoyment is that one takes with him the sinful reaction only and not the money. The money he earned is left in this world, and he takes only the reactions.
Jai, great, thanks.
Interesting. I wasn't sure what it meant in the verse. And the money he acquired by envying other living
Acquired, not inquired, but the money he acquired. Yeah.
It's my South London accent.
Oh, inquired.
It's the passage money with which he leaves this world.
Because you pay the boatman, he leaves the money there and takes you across. So it's the passage money, like Prabhupada said in the purport. You don't take that with you. You leave that on this side. but it provides you passage. It's what has paid for your passage
because
to hell.
Because the sinful reactions carry you to the...
Yes. So it's like that money is like how you paid for your ticket to hell. But you don't have that money when you go to hell. You left it here because that's what got you there.
That's deep.
It is very deep. Thanks for bringing that point up. That's amazing. So there you go. Got some money in your pocket? Might just be buying your ticket to hell.
I just want to go and get an ice cream.
Well, if you don't offer it to Krishna, Bhagavad Gita says, Yagi Shishashana Santo Muchanti Sarva Kilbashai Bunjante Te Twagam Pampa Yapachant Yatmakaranat. That the devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sinful reactions because they eat food which is first offered in sacrifice. But those who eat for their own personal sense gratification verily eat only
Sin.
Papam, sin. So, next time you have that ice cream, you don't offer it to Krishna. It's a heavy talk today, I think. It's a heavy section.
Yeah. We need to get onto my favourite bit, the Lord Shiva ducks your head being cricked off. Love it. We're coming up to
this is a more light reading. Okay, let's try to get through this. In this world also, if a person acquires some money by murdering someone, a lot of, but these are real, this is actually real, practical things. It's not like it isn't happening.
Yeah.
Just look in the newspaper. The family is not hanged, although its members are sinfully contaminated. Good point. But the man who commits the murder and maintains his family is himself hanged as a murderer. The direct offender is more responsible for sinful activities than the indirect enjoyer. The great learned scholar Chanakya Pandit says, therefore, that whatever one has in his possession had better be spent for the cause of Sat, means eternality, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because one cannot take his possessions with him. They remain here and they will be lost. Either we leave the money or the money leaves us. But we will be separated. The best use of money, as long as it is within our possession, is to spend it to acquire Krishna consciousness. That's great. Loving that. So, one may ask, how do I spend money to acquire Krishna consciousness? I didn't know you could buy Krishna consciousness.
Sure you can.
Oh. How?
Well, one thing is people like to travel and go places. So there's many like holy places to go to, holy dhams, temples. Okay, on the other thing is retreats. If you've never been on retreats with devotees, holy name retreats or otherwise. So that's getting away and associating. And then you can like engage it in the service of like devotees or the local temple and support projects.
Buy prasadam.
Huh?
You can buy prasadam. You can buy books. You can buy spiritual paraphernalia and spiritual clothing or outfits that you use in spiritual practice, or
but you can also maintain your
give
body
it to the brahmanas.
Yeah, we'll put our PO box at the end.
PO box?
I'm old.
We'll put PayPal.
I'm old. But you can also use it intelligently in your own service so that you can be Krishna conscious, in the sense that, make sure you've got a roof over your head, make sure you've got food on the table, make sure you've got clothes. You might say, well, why? No, because if you don't fulfill the basics and have that, let's be honest, stress, anxiety, then you can focus on the bigger things, which is
very nice.
To be a devotee. So we don't need to sell everything, remortgage and live in a tent.
Yes, you don't have
unless
to.
you want to, but.
And as we mentioned before, even Rupa Goswami had the 50% principle, that he gave 50% to the missionary activities, but the other 50% he divided, 25 for emergencies, 25 for the family.
Yep.
But that was, only also because he was going to live as like a beggar in the street. So, yeah, we have to maintain our griha, our house, and our family. And that also, very good point, I like this, thank you. Yeah, this also is service to Krishna. Looking after your wife is service to Krishna. Looking after your children is service to Krishna. Having a decent place for them to live and putting food on the table, prasad on the table, paying the electric bills, paying the heating. This is also service to Krishna. We just have to see how it's connected. It's not that it's not connected, it's just that we're not connecting it. So we have to connect it.
To connect the dots.
Connect the dots. Connect everything back to Krishna. Perfect. And not just for our sense gratification, but because it's the truth.
Yeah. Right. Text 32. Thus, by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the maintainer of kinsmen is put into a hellish condition to suffer for his sinful activities, like a man who has lost his wealth. Purport. The example set herein is that the sinful person suffers just like a man who has lost his wealth. The human form of body is achieved by the conditioned soul after many, many births, and is a very valuable asset. Instead of utilizing this life to get liberation, if one uses it simply for the purpose of maintaining his so-called family, and therefore performs foolish and unauthorized action, he is compared to a man who has lost his wealth, and who upon losing it laments. When wealth is lost, there is no use lamenting, but as long as there is wealth, one has to utilize it properly, and thereby gain eternal profit. It may be argued that when a man leaves his money earned by sinful activities, he also leaves his sinful activities here with his money. But it is especially mentioned herein that by superior arrangement, dasa, although the man leaves behind him his sinfully earned money, he carries the effect of it. When a man steals some money, if he is caught and agrees to return it, he is not freed from the criminal punishment. Nice example. By the law of the state, even though he returns the money, he has to undergo the punishment. Similarly, the money earned by a criminal process may be left by the man when dying, but by superior arrangement he carries with him the effect, and therefore he has to suffer hellish life. Very deep, very deep. Because most people think, I'm dead, I'm gone, or others may think, yeah, he's dead, he's gone, he got away with it, or this or that, but Prabhupada's explaining that you don't take anything with you anyway. As you came, you go.
Yeah.
But as we know, we have a gross body and a subtle body, and as has been explained, my intelligence thoughts ego, the subtle body is dragged out down the road, as it were, by the Yamadutas. This jiva within that, kicking and screaming, and that's how they deal with your sinful activities. But some people see the gross body because they don't understand there's something beyond this. They think, well, the person's gone now because the body's dead. The body is dead. The body is useless, but we also, you have the subtle and the gross. So the subtle body is continuing.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember many years ago, some of you might be old enough to remember this. I forget, I think the movie was called Ghost, something like
Patrick
that.
Swayze.
Huh?
With Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze?
Swayze?
Patch Swayze.
I didn't say Pat Swayze, I said Patrick Swayze, but side point, I didn't like the movie, but anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I hardly remember it. I saw it before coming to Krishna consciousness, and the only thing I really remember from it was the scene where some guy, because I think the husband got killed or something, and he was trying to connect. He was still connecting with the wife, but then the guy, I think, who killed him, he got killed somehow, and then these kind of monster type things came up and just dragged him away.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, that looks scary, you know, you get it in the end, you know. And of course, then later reading things like this, that the Yamadutas actually show up and pull that soul out. Then, you know, it's like...
Those are powerful scenes in relation to knowledge that, you get later. They were very powerful. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, we'll end on that, Patrick Swayze.
Yeah. Good old Patrick. And I think, Krishna willing, we may actually finish.
Oh?
Definitely in our next reading.
Oh, yeah.
Probably could have pushed through, but we wouldn't have had much time to discuss. So
yeah, it gets rushed.
All right. Thank you all very much. Stay warm. Cozy up next to a nice fire. And chant Hare Krishna. And read Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.